And they are perennials. First today, I think we'll introduce our technical table, and we'll start with our grammarian, Susanna.
Thank you, Master Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. The role of the grammarian throughout the meeting is to listen for proper and improper uses of the English language. I'll be pointing out ways that we can adjust to improve on our grammar, as well as things that we're doing fantastic already. Another job that I have is to introduce the word of the day. The word of the day today is perennial. Perennial means lasting for an indefinitely long time or enduring. It's also used as a noun, a perennial plant, something that is continuing or recurring. For example, Toastmasters has a perennial beneficial effect on one's life. It's also a tongue twister if you wanted to do a vocal warm-up. That's a good sentence to try it on. I will be listening throughout the rest of the day. And anybody who speaks and does not use the word of the day will be charged 25 cents towards our club kitty. I will give a report at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
And next is our odd counter, Diane Manikowski.
Good morning. Today I am the odd counter, and my responsibility is to listen to anyone who's speaking today to see if they use an and a like, you know, so, but, and. You clip your tongue, you pause too long, anything that is not smooth and flowing within your speech. And every one of those is going to be counted today, except if you're a guest and then they don't count, or if you haven't done your first speech. You are also not supposed to use double clutches, this means, things like that. So I hope everybody, 5 cents, I know, I got you. And she put that up there, right? 5 cents for me for that long pause. So anyway, there's a long pause. That was just a demonstration for everybody. And I promise you it will not be a perennial thing.
And filling in for timer today is Ernst.
Good morning. Good morning, Madam Toastmasters, fellow members, and honored guests. The timer has a very important function of assisting the Toastmaster in keeping the meeting on schedule. Each segment of the meeting is timed. Speakers, during the speech, the timer will operate a stopwatch, which is an iPhone, and 3 signal devices: yellow, green, and red. Within 2 minutes remaining of allotted time, the green card will be shown. Within 1 minute, the yellow card will be shown, and within all the allotted times used up, the red light will be shown, the red card. Table topics, for table topics, the green card will be shown within 30 minutes, 30 seconds, I'm sorry, the yellow within 45 seconds, and the red at 1 minute. Evaluators, the green light will come up, or the green card will come up within 2 minutes. The yellow will come up within 2:30, and after 3 minutes, the red light will come up. I was just wondering, and if you have any tips, why my perennials never last more than 6 months. If there's any suggestions, hopefully we'll talk about this with some table topics, as we certainly like to know. Madam Toastmaster.
According to behavioral research conducted at Rutgers, nature provides us with a simple way to improve emotional health, and that is flowers. They actually did a study to find out and explore the link between flowers and life satisfaction. And it was a 10-month-long study. And what they found was flowers have an immediate impact on happiness. All study participants expressed true and excited smiles upon receiving flowers, demonstrating extraordinary delight and gratitude. This reaction is universal, occurring in all age groups. They also found that flowers have a long-term positive effect on moods. Specifically, participants reported feeling less depressed, anxious, agitated after receiving flowers and demonstrating a higher sense of enjoyment and life satisfaction. And flowers also make intimate connections. The presence of flowers had led to increased contact with family and friends. And we will move on to our first speech for today, which is an icebreaker. So let's welcome up Mike Hughes.
Guess I don't do that. My icebreaker. I want to start off by telling you a quick little story. I was sitting at a bar in Colorado, and a gentleman, he covered head to toe in grease, and we got to talking about life. What he told me something was very profound. He said, "You are the director of your own movie. What do you want to see your main character do?" My movie started in 1981. Just a kid born in Washington State. Grew up, went all the way through high school, lived the average life. From there, I moved on to the military. Signed up to be a paratrooper, jump out of airplanes, be that guy. Everyone kind of was like, "Oh, that's really cool, I want to do that." I was that guy. For what seemed a perennial, I just did it. And then went on, 9/11 happened. Got called to war, did a deployment to Afghanistan. Again, another perennial. As soon as you're in this country, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But when I came back, I was changed. I was a different person. I wanted to be something better. I wanted to be the people I saw in the movies. I wanted to be the people I saw doing all the cool missions. I wanted to be a Green Beret. So I went. I tried out. I talked my brother into doing it. He was saying he wanted to come back in the military as well because he was in the 82nd back when Operation Just Kidding, or Haiti, as you guys may have played with, was going down. So I talked him back into coming. He said he wanted to be a Navy SEAL, and I was like, "Do not go be a Navy SEAL." And that's a whole other topic, but we'll get into that later. So I talked him into being Green Beret with me. What we did, we went through the entire course together, helping each other out, encouraging each other. We did the entire Q course, or qualification course, to get your Green Beret, and we graduated together. Both of us got stationed in Colorado, and 6 months after I got stationed in Colorado, I was in Iraq. I did back-to-back Iraq deployments, 4 more, totally not 5 deployments in Iraq. But I learned something when I came home. I was a different person again. I looked at people differently. I was much more curt and to the point, because that's how I was when I was over there. I found out when I drove home, sometimes I'm driving in the middle of the road to avoid bombs on the side of the road. Yeah. Why would you do that? That's crazy. So I went and saw a shrink about it. It's like, hey, I want to make sure that I'm on point. And I realized one point, before even seeing the shrink, I was sitting in a truck outside of a club. Me and the girlfriend at the time were drinking. And I remember crying. She's like, "What is your problem?" I was like, "The fact that I can walk over there and take that individual's life scares me. And it should scare everyone else, because that's not a human emotion that we should possess. But I possessed it. So I wanted to check myself in, make sure I was good at it. Or excuse me, make sure I was good." That was the word. Perennial. So I did. And when I came out, after 3 years of counseling, I was like, you know what? I look at the world differently. I see things differently. I talked with a friend of mine. He was like, you know what? When I was going through my hard time, I got a dog. So I got Stanley. Stanley changed my world. Forgive me. He changed it for the positive. He helped me see. He helped me feel again. He helped me experience emotion, love, affection, caring, what I'd lost from my brother. But I took it a step farther. I started pursuing a degree at UCF in psychology. I'm currently the president of their psychology club because I wanted to achieve something better. And so I asked people to come in and give talks to the younger generation to see what, not to see, to experience what someone else has lived. and pose the ideas like, could you help them? Could your words help somebody else who's an up and coming that I wish I would have had when I was younger? To say, don't do this, go here, do that. Why do I tell you this? So that when you're out there giving your speeches, you don't realize what your words, what impact they have. That's why I joined Toastmasters, is my goal is one day to give a TED Talk about my experience. I'll leave you with this. You were the director of your own movie. What do you want to see your main actor do? Thank you.
Alex, can we have 1 minute for evaluation?
1 minute.
Our next speaker for today will be from the Speeches by Management Manual, Project 4, Communicating Change. Our speaker says that she is recalling the fondness of her days as a New York City retail banker. Over the next few speeches, Stephany plans to resurrect real-life banking excerpts with names and certain details, of course, changed to protect the guilty. Help me welcome distinguished Toastmaster Stephany Bonnie Burns, doing Have a Good Rest of Your Weekend.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, welcome and returning guests. RJ. This morning I invite you to listen in as the branch manager delivers some news, some information to her tellers. It's about an important operational change. Let's see how she does this. Who here can remember when at Bankers Republic, or any other bank for that matter, bankers hours? You know, when we only work 9 to 3, hardly ever a late night, perhaps Thursdays, never on Saturday. Well, that went the way of pinstripe suits and male managers only. With a growing educated consumer population and encroaching competition, banks have always to alter the way they do business. If you expect to keep abreast of trends or even gain, especially if you intend to gain a greater market share, you've got to change with the demands of the public. As you know, recently, the automated clearinghouse began operating a half day on Saturdays. Well, what does this mean? Now, initially, they're just clearing checks for banks that are open on late Friday nights. But you know that it won't be long before they're going to insist that we do Saturday's work as well. That is why I'm telling you that this bank has decided to take the lead in that situation, and we're going to clear Saturday deposits on Saturday. Why do we have to be the first, you ask? Well, we're a major bank. and we've always been in the forefront and on the cutting edge of things. This will give us a great advantage. Acquisitionally, we will be able to say to our customers, we value your business and we have heard your cry about check clearing time. We are going to get your money in your hands faster than ever before. This will be great for not only customer relations, but our CRA ratings. As you know, each branch must do a certain amount of improvements or things to benefit the community, whether they benefit us or not. What does that mean in terms of utilities? Well, on Saturday, when we close at noon, we will strike a real proof. Not just batching up the work and holding it over till Monday or just sending out checks. You will be proving up cash, all negotiable instruments, and doing a real proof. I don't anticipate you having to get out much later than what we do now because this is how we're going to do it. Saturdays has not been that busy, so we will have a staggered teller closing time. You're going to run your work throughout the morning. You're going to prove your cash throughout the morning. You will have very little to do once we close our doors. And yes, we will close our doors at 12 on the dot. All the work must be prepared and out for the messenger that will pick it up. And just like it is now, if a teller doesn't do their job or they have a problem proving up, the person who causes us to miss the messenger will have to take the work personally to main office. There is no change there. The real change is, this is coming. Why not be ahead of the mandate? Why not have the disciplines in place so that when the Federal Reserve Bank insists that we do this, it won't adversely affect us. We will already be on the boat with this. It's another benefit to you tellers. Your daily interface with your customers, they're always crabbing and complaining, are they not, about check clearing time all day long. You have to answer the questions. Now you have something positive to say to them in that regard. You'll have a much more friendly interface at the teller window. It's coming, so why not embrace this with as much equanimity as you can? And remember, at Republic Trust here, we have a long-standing tradition of customer excellence, customer satisfaction, and public trust. And remember, bankers do it with interest.
Flowers are used for many occasions. For birthdays, a lot of people will use flowers to show their appreciation to someone. Some specialists say that mixed flowers are preferred in such situations. Flowers are also used when someone is sick in order to express to that person your best wishes of healing. And of course for marriages, being both as decoration and as bouquets. And they are also used for Valentine's Day. I'm sure that you will get dirty looks if you don't give flowers to for a partner on Valentine's Day. And they are also used for sympathy for a lost loved one. I'd now like to, and we're now on to our table topics, and our table topics master today is Paul.
Thank you. Apparently I have lots of time, so this may be a perennial table topic. I came prepared for a 3-speaker meeting and found out we were at 2 speakers. So we'll maybe a little random questions here, but I found out the theme also as I came in, so I tried to work that in. So. And also we're probably, as everyone knows except for the guests, well, first I'll review the purpose of table topics is to make sure everyone in the room gets an opportunity to speak. Usually guests don't, but I think I've been told that the guests are returning guests, so maybe they're open. And also, so yeah, go ahead and think about that for a minute. And also we only have, most people already have roles, so even people doing roles other than maybe I'll stay away from the evaluators who haven't spoken yet, except for Bud, he's always fair game. So first question, nice and easy question related to the theme. What is your favorite flower, James?
My favorite flower. Well, off the top of my head, I say a sunflower because that is the only thing I can think of.
I should mention, as some of the more experienced people know, you can always run with a different question. You say, I don't really want to answer that one, but I'll tell you this. Second question, any tips on how to keep our flowers blooming? Bud.
Let's see what you did there.
Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, I don't do anything to keep my flowers blooming. Every spring, I take my trip over to Lowe's, go into the garden section, and buy 2 or 3 bags of sunflower seeds. And then when I come home, I'll make sure nobody's looking, I open the bag and I spread it all over where the bushes were taken out in front of the house. And as the spring progresses and we swing into summer, you can see these flowers blooming, rising and rising, and eventually the great big sunflowers come out and they're smiling and they're looking at everybody, and all the passers-by are enjoying those magnificent sunflowers. They're not perennial. I have to replant them every spring. But they're beautiful. Mr. Table Topics Master.
Yeah, exactly.
I was watching a news program over the weekend and it was talking about genetics versus environment and which is more important. And I used to always think practice and your environment, but now since I've had kids, I really see how much genetics is a part of things and how much you gravitate towards your natural genetics. And so I was curious, which do you think, genetics or environment? RJ.
Genetics versus environment. I'm with you on that. I believe we can accomplish a lot with learning and putting our minds to something. We can accomplish great things. But I agree. Once my son was born, I mean, he's now 16, and I have seen him progress throughout the years. It's amazing on how many different things that he mirrors me, for the good and bad. At least that's what my wife says anyway. And even with family, I never had the opportunity to meet my dad, but I've met family on that side about 5-6 years ago, and there are certain traits that I have that again, merit him 100%. So I think, to be honest, it's a combination of both. And if you're going back to a flowers thing, I think there's a lot of work going on with flowers about mixing the genetics of flowers to do different things. And obviously we know on flowers environment, we've got the sun here in Florida. It's a big deal. So I would say flowers.
Now, going back to the flowers, do you think it's part of your genetics to be good at growing flowers? Why or why not? She's hiding. Pat.
Well, parentally, no. If you are adept at growing flowers, it means you have a green thumb, they say. It's an old saying. I myself seem to have a green thumb until I got to Florida. And then that was a whole new education, dealing with the soil and the watering and the pests and the sun and the environment. So flowers are subjected to their environment, just like people, I believe. And we are products of our environment. Another way of saying, hey.
Have you given flowers or received flowers before? Why or why not Julia?
Topics, Master. Yes, I have received as well as given flowers. The last flowers I received were from my husband for Valentine's. He totally surprised me because we had, as a married couple, we just celebrated, actually today is our anniversary. And we, as an old married couple, you think about, spending money, so it's not as romantic when you talk about Valentine's Day. I'm like, you know what, let's not do anything too special. We'll have a nice steak dinner at home, but don't get me flowers. We don't need to spend the money type of thing. Well, lo and behold, I got flowers. That was really nice. It's when you get those flowers on an unexpected occasion or when you're not expecting, they mean so much more. And as well as I've given flowers to people that are sick or just to cheer someone up. Because always, those perennial flowers always make people feel good.
All right, we're running low on my questions here. But I have one more, and I think it's appropriate. I grabbed it from the last contest, and I'll give it to Stephany since she didn't get to compete. Why me?
Am I supposed to be a flower? Why this question for me? It has nothing to do with the theme. It just comes straight out of the air. What am I supposed to say? Why me? Well, I don't know. Why am I standing here? Taking a nut of myself. Why me? Am I auditioning for something? I like to sing about the moon and the June and the springer. It's an old classic cartoon, folks. Anybody remember that? Pray to the only winter. You don't remember the little owl? Ah, somebody remembers it besides me. Why me? Why not?
I'll hand it back to Carrie Bird.
And now we're moving on to our educational portion of our meeting, and I'd like to introduce our Master Evaluator, Julia Kaufman.
Thanks, Gary. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Yes, nice job on your table topic question on the fly. It is that part of the meeting where we get to hear hear feedback from our fellow Toastmasters on how we did in our speaking capabilities and our presentation skills. As your master evaluator, I get to critique the general meeting as well as provide some feedback at the end. Let's go ahead and get started. So evaluating Mike, this was your icebreaker. Congratulations. Please welcome to the lectern, evaluating Mike, Mr. Bud McKechnie.
Mike, what a magnificent first icebreaker speech that you gave today. I don't know how much more you can learn from this club because you had great presence when you got up here. You were well organized with your speech and you clearly expressed what you wanted to express. You described some of the perennial problems suffered and endured by some of our returning war veterans. Better than that, you showed us how you feel and how you felt returning to our country. And that was one of the best icebreaker speeches I've ever heard. I don't know how the rest of you feel. It was very well done. Your entire speech, believe it or not, I couldn't believe it, was without any notes. And that's a remarkable accomplishment. Some of us have been in this club for 4 years or more, including me, and still occasionally have to rely on our notes. You did it all without a single note, and that was fantastic. A couple of, one or two ideas. I think it might be a little better when you're giving your speech if you keep both hands free and out of your pocket. It does look very nice and informal, and I had a feeling of comradeship or even brotherhood when I saw you standing there with your hand in your pocket. It's pretty much the same as my brother and I would stand and talk to each other. But in a formal speech, it's probably better to keep both your hands free because eventually you'll get into the project of how your body speaks. And you'll need both of your hands in order to tell everybody exactly what's on your mind. It tells the story a little bit better. The strong feelings you expressed about Stanley were very moving. And we were up there, everybody I think in this room was feeling similar to what you felt, and we appreciated what you felt. We not only got the idea, but we also got the feeling. We had the head and the heart together, which you accomplished most beautifully. Your concept of using the movie director and yourself in the role was beautiful, and it tied together your speech because you expressed it at the beginning of your speech, which took everybody's attention, and at the end, you summarized using the same thought, the same concept, the same idea. It was just a beautifully well done speech, and this is why I congratulate you on you're probably up to project number 8 by now.
Thank you, Bud. Okay, it's interesting. I got here late, and I apologize for that. But something happened that was very interesting to me. When someone's speaking, you never interrupt, so you stay outside until you have the opportunity to come in and not interrupt the meeting. What I did notice was that I had a chance to watch Mike from outside and not hear what he said. So I was remiss by not being able to hear your speech. I'm really bummed about that. But at the same time, I got to evaluate you from a complete physical presence, and that was very interesting to me, and I went ahead and evaluated based on that. So if you ever have an opportunity where you're late, hopefully not, go ahead, observe the speaker and give your feedback based on how you saw them instead of not hearing. Interesting. Okay, our next evaluator, who is evaluating Ms. Stephany Bodyburner's speech, please welcome Mr. Steve Morgan.
it's good to get up on a Tuesday morning and hear about how we're going to have a good rest of the weekend. So thank you, Stephany, for bringing that nice idea into this meeting. Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, guests. We got to hear a speech that in my 15 years, I have not yet heard this project before. The Communicating Change project out of the Speeches by Management manual. This manual is probably the one I've seen least used in the first place, and this project I had not yet actually seen. So it was a very interesting experience. You did a good job of setting the stage for us, establishing who we were supposed to be as well as who you were supposed to be, which hopefully everyone took advantage of when you're writing your evaluations, since obviously what she was explaining did not directly apply to any of us, but if you put yourself in the role, hopefully it'll make a lot more sense. Because the whole point of this project is to introduce a change to an organization, a change that will probably meet with some resistance and find a way to deal with it and get past it and get everyone on board. One question I was kind of curious about, because you said this is actually related to what has happened to you before, was if you were presenting this as it happened, or were you presenting it as you thought it should have been? Because that probably would have changed the way I looked at it in some of these respects. You certainly had great preparation. I bet you could have gotten by without the notes, but it didn't really matter in the sense of the kind of speech you were giving. There wasn't a problem having them there. For the resistance that you were supposed to overcome, you were supposed to address the need, the nature of the change, and the benefits, and you were supposed to help overcome that resistance by empathizing. I did not detect a whole lot of empathy coming from it.
In the bank, there is this.
But since that is the actual key the project is saying, empathize, you're going to have to work the weekend too, right? You're in the same boat, so there should be a way to empathize in some fashion or form. It also suggested be sincere, be enthusiastic. You were certainly sincere. I didn't detect a lot of enthusiasm. I imagine there wasn't a lot for everyone else to get. But you certainly did the 4 steps very well, describing the need, certainly describing the scope and the benefits. The closest thing that you dealt with the resistance was you pointed out that it's not a lot of change, just a few additional things onto what's going on. The best I could suggest, therefore, is that smiling might help.
Yes.
Oh yes, unless that's not allowed in the bank, I suppose. But I certainly must applaud you for taking on this project, because I know in particular how much you dislike change.
Where did you get that from?
Yeah, every time I try to do something different here.
Oh, you're absolutely wrong on that.
But we all got a very definite learning experience, and thank you for that opportunity.
All right. Some lively evaluations going on here. Very interesting stuff. We're going to move right on into our technical table report, starting with our grammarian, Miss Susanna Letchford.
Thank you, Master Toastmasters. We did earn a little money today. For the word of the day, I did hear Carrie, Mike, Ernst, Diane, Julia, Pat halfway used it, and Bud used it 3 times, so I think you get the rest of his. The rest of you, 25 cents per, unless you've not yet done your icebreaker, then you are off the hook. A few words that I heard that stuck out in my head. I loved the perennial table topics by Paul. Mike, Operation Just Kidding, and Stanley changed my world. Stephany went the way of the pinstripe suits and using the word encroaching, we don't hear very often. Nice, and also making a nut of myself. Stephen, there was one line that you said that felt awkward to me. We got to hear a speech that in my 15 years I had not heard before. It had a kind of a weird assembly. In my 15 years, I've not heard this project before simplify and break the concepts up. But I loved your use of a different learning experience. And that is my report.
Thank you, Susanna. All right, let's hear how many clutch words we use. So please welcome Diana Matakowski.
Thank you, fellow Toastmasters. Well, today you're not going to get too rich. It was either that I didn't, it was either that I didn't do this correctly, or I was just not in the pot. Probably me. I was a little in the pot. So, Carrie, there's another one. I'm good. You're
It's okay. She's making up.
Carrie, you had 2 uhs. You had 3 double clutches. Susanna, you had 2 uhs. I had 2 uhs, a really long pause. Ernst, you had a like and a double clutch. Mike, you only had 2 really long pauses. One of them I think was not good because it was you were getting emotional, but one was when you were thinking. So we'll just say 1. Okay, you don't have to say that because you're an icebreaker. Stephany, you had 2 double clutches. Paul, you had 1 so, and 1 and also, I'm not sure if that counts, so it may not. James, 1 pause. Bud, 1 2 double clutches, 1 and. RJ, 1 1 so, 1 and. Pat, you had 1 1 1 so, 1 long pause. Julia was clean and Steve was clean.
That's a shame. I'm filling in for timer. Please welcome Ernst Urbanchik.
Madam Master Evaluator, Madam Toastmasters, fellow members, and other guests, being the timer is a perennial experience to learn how to walk and chew bubble gum at the same time, because you have to watch this watch and also race here and so forth. So it's a great experience, but especially as you get older, still moving. I can say that, okay?
Yeah, you're older than I am.
In regards to the speeches, Mike, you did a great job at 4 minutes and 50 seconds. It's within the time limit. First of all, I want to thank you for serving. A great job, a great experience, and certainly a great dedication. Stephany, great job. You did 5 minutes and 27 seconds. It was within the limits. In regards to the table topics, you had James, 15 seconds. Congratulations. Certainly went down.
First you last.
But all of this very wordy, had 1 minute and 3 seconds exceeded the time limit. And then RJ, you were even longer, 1 minute and 12 seconds. And Pat, 59 seconds. Julia, 59 seconds. And Stephany, 56 seconds. The Evaluator, Bud, you did 3 minutes and 5 seconds, which is exceeded the time allocation by about 5 seconds.
What a surprise.
Stephen Morgan, even more, 3 minutes and 21 seconds.
That was the banter going back and forth.
Yeah.
Master Evaluator, that's my report.
Awesome. All right. Just a recap on the general meeting. Well set up and going on as I came in the room late. So I apologize. And if you've never been late before, that was my first time. Make sure not to interrupt the speaker. Watch to see what's going on and enter once there's nothing going on, or just don't want to interrupt the speaker. Nice job, Carrie, as Toastmaster. Can't recommend, make sure that if you have a role or going through the schedule and you're listed on it, make sure promptly to respond to the Toastmaster and confirm your role, as well as, especially if you're a speaker, to get that information back to the Toastmaster in time. That's so critical for the Toastmaster. It makes their job so much easier when they get information prior to the meeting, the important stuff. Again, room was set up. Were you the secretary? Steve, nice job. And it's always a pleasure being here every Tuesday morning. It's my time to depart from the lectern and welcome our president, Stephen Morgan.
Thank you, Julia. Okay, a little bit of time, and there's a couple of things we can take care of. Mike, just to be sure, we had not actually done induction for you, have we not?
What?
That's what I thought.
Induction.
Induction.
I mean, we voted.
Susanna, if you would play Sergeant at Arms for the moment. Escort James and Mike out of the room for a moment.
Come with me, sir. Sirs.
Yep.
It's be relatively painless, most likely.
I don't have all the cards, so let me repeat this morning instead of get to read off the cards. But we do have the 2 membership applications. Mike's and James have been submitted. Is there a motion to accept the membership application as submitted?
That's it.
All right, second, anyone care to discuss? Icebreaker good enough, but not for everyone, right? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, good. Then have them come back in and up to the front.
Susan.
Susanna.
Susanna.
They're all looking rough.
Come on up front.
To the front? Front center.
We do like to have each of our members, as they come in, get a chance to accept the Toastmasters promise. We do it as a pledge in this sense, so if you would mind just repeating as I have it there. I, your own name.
I, James Bishop,
In the presence of my fellow members.
in the presence of my fellow members.
Oh, present my fellow members.
Of Lake Mary Toastmasters.
Of Lake Mary Toastmasters.
Make this firm obligation.
Make this firm obligation.
To attend meetings regularly.
To attend meetings regularly.
Prepare fully for each assignment.
Prepare fully for each assignment.
To apply myself to the program outlined in the Toastmasters manual.
To apply myself to the program outlined in the Toastmasters manual.
To participate actively in club activities.
To participate actively in club activities.
To evaluate others in a positive, constructive manner.
To evaluate others in a positive and constructive manner.
To build open, friendly relationships with my fellow members.
To build open, friendly relationships.
And to bring other new members into the club.
And to bring other new
So they can also gain the benefits of Toastmasters.
So they can also gain the benefits of Toastmasters.
Will the members of Lake Mary Toastmasters please stand? And repeat. We, the members of Lake Mary Toastmasters.
We, the members of Lake Mary Toastmasters.
Pledge to support you in your quest for self-development.
Pledge to support you in your quest for self-development.
To provide you with positive, helpful evaluations.
To provide you with positive and helpful evaluations.
To maintain a friendly, supportive atmosphere.
To maintain a friendly, supportive atmosphere.
To give you opportunities to help others.
To give you opportunity to help others.
And to make your Toastmasters membership a rewarding and fulfilling experience.
And to make your Toastmasters membership a rewarding and fulfilling experience.
Congratulations and welcome. Thank you for
Do you have a ribbon for both Lake?
I do not have the ribbons. I do not have the ribbons on.
For the icebreaker speech.
Yes.
You get a
If
ribbon.
I can find them, I'll get them out.
Next week you get a ribbon.
I never got rid of it.
One other
I don't think you get it.
bit, Julia, if you'll give a quick explanation of the new club.
Sure. It's exciting times for me getting, for the first time ever, sponsoring a club. And we are forming a brand new club which Lake Mary Toastmasters is sponsoring and supporting. It's Seminole State College Toastmasters. It meets Tuesdays from 12:30 to 1:30 and it includes faculty and students. A really interesting experience to that. I come from the business world. It's been a long time since I've been in college, and getting back into school and experiencing that side is really interesting, as well as starting a new club. If you're ever interested in participating or need to give a speech, you're welcome to come participate in these meetings, visit it, take a look, see what's happening there. The other sponsor, another Toastmaster from Winter Park Toastmasters, is a faculty member. He teaches law there. It's a very lively, entertaining club that we're forming. And thanks to like Mary's support, you guys are helping to sponsor this club.
Is that an open club?
It's an open club.
Open club, anyone can join and attend. Yeah, our sponsorship essentially consists of Stephany gets extra work because she's helping handle the finances.
Working on Saturdays.
As it turns out, we might be able to help in another way if everyone remembers our old timer block of lights, the ones that were donated to us, which is the huge block with the cord everyone kept tripping over, which is why we stopped using them. I do still have them sitting at home. I was wondering if we would wish to donate them to the new club as an option.
Yes. Yes. Stick it with it.
Stick it with it. I guess that'll constitute motion and discussion from the sound of that. I should have to get those to you then, Julia.
The timer lights?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Get over to the club.
Okay, perfect.
They could probably leave them in the room, right? Is that-
Yeah, the beauty of it is the room, if you want to go, it's Building B, room 006. It is right, it's easy to get to. You can just Google Seminole State College and it's right down Lake Mary Boulevard. And the room right next to where we meet is the office of the guy that's sponsoring the club, so we keep everything there. So very easy, and there's not as many costs and dues because the room is free.
When's the meeting?
12:30 to 1:30 on Tuesdays.
Lunch club, first one in our area.
Are you teaching there?
Quite a while.
I'm teaching at Seminole State, but not at that campus.
Oh, you're
I'm
in
teaching
here?
at the other campus at 12:30 on Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Next week's schedule, we have Erica scheduled as Toastmaster, she's not here at the moment. Pablo's listed as speaker, and he's not likely going to be able to, he's not got the time for the moment. Susanna and Stephany are scheduled. Stephany, you've already spoken this week. You want next week too?
That was
I'll take
my
a spot.
Julia,
I'll take a spot too. I want to make sure I'm not.
I'll give up my spot. How's that?
I'm seeing a bunch of days ago.
If Pablo doesn't come, I'll.
Those two are in, and I'm giving up my spot to one of them.
Okay.
So how's that?
Julia Ernst.
It's speaking.
Diane wants in as soon as she can too.
I want to make sure I'm not screwing up.
Diane's the next week, good, because Jessica probably won't be.
Yes.
Okay. Table Topics Master list is Jorge, he better know. General Evaluator was Ernst. We have evaluators listed, that now, myself, Jessica won't be able to. Diane, your list is grammarian, Joe's listed as timer, probably not, and odd counter listed as Jody. So I need, general evaluator, 2 evaluators, and timer. Bud, Paul, Carrie.
I'll do the timering. I've done evaluator twice now in a row.
I'm not gonna be here.
You're not going to be here, Paul. I'll ask actually James or Mike if you want something particular.
Give me timer, or I've never evaluated, but.
But will you be doing general evaluator be good for?
Or all county.
General evaluator, I can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So James is timer.
I'll do all kind of things or whatever.
I think Jody will be here. We shall see on that. A couple of evaluators still needed.
We can always switch maybe Jody to evaluator if he hasn't done it recently too.
If he's up to it.
Yeah.
Okay. You'll do one of the evaluators.
Who's the speakers?
Speakers are Ernst, Julia, and Stephany at this moment. And hopefully everyone will be ready and everyone will respond to the Toastmaster when Erica.
Who is the Toastmaster?
Erica is listed as Toastmaster.
Erica? Okay.
And we do like to ask our guests what they thought of the meeting, and if we like feedback, RJ, if you'd be willing to tell us what you thought.
As always, I enjoyed the meeting. I really did. Always enjoyed the Icebreaker, but I really enjoyed this meeting. I'm next Navy, so I'm not quite sure about
Pat, what did you think?
I am extremely impressed by the talent that I see in this room and and I hope to learn a lot. I'm feeling extremely green, but
Perennial.
yeah.
Not just you now.
Yes, but I hope to learn so much from all of you, and I'm grateful to be here. Thank you.
Forgotten your name, sorry.
Tia.
Tia, okay.
All right,
The meeting was fun, as always. I love watching everybody's attempt for using the word of the day. Trying to slip it in there. Great speeches, and everyone's always fun and outgoing bright and early in the morning. So.
Not as fun as last week, though, huh?
I missed last week. It was a week before that when
Oh, the
we finished
Are there any other announcements or order of business at this time?
Anyone with dues still outstanding?
I paid.
I got yours. Anybody else with due? Yeah.
I don't know.
Everybody.
Division contest will be April 27th, Sunday, Deltona Library at 1:30. And the district conference is May 16th, 17th. You have to sign up and pay ahead of time to get on toastmastersd84.org. Jump in and do it. It's right here in Lake Mary. They're fun at the very least. The table topics finals and the international speech contest on Friday, Saturday nights are, plus the dinners that come with them, are usually worth the price of the whole conference anyway, and the rest that comes with it. So please do so. Lots of Lake Mary here and Lake Mary Toastmasters. You think we'd have more there? Let's get it. Anyhow, a couple minutes to go. We'll see you all here next week.